Ada.
Well, hello, Mr. Harrington.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
What do you have?
Nothing to drink, thank you. How Rita Norm getting along?
When's the last time you took the trouble to find out?
It's only $50. Rita probably wouldn't take it from me, but I thought, well, maybe you could buy her something nice to wear with it.
I'm sure you didn't come by here just for this.
I want your advice, Ada. I may have made a mistake, but I gave Jack Chandler a job at the mill. You know who I mean, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
He reminded me that he'd been a friend of your husband's.
He was nobody's friend.
And anyway, he's a glib talker. He gave me a sob story that, well, I just couldn't say no to.
It's your mill, sort of.
The point is that after I hired him, I had some second thoughts about it. I realized I'd hired a man that I knew very little about.
Come off it, Leslie. You know Jack Chandler. Jack Forrest.
Yes. He admitted he'd changed his name. But I agreed to treat it as confidential.
You used to have long, confidential chats with him in the back room.
He mentioned something about that, but it was over 20 years ago. I seem to remember it was something about a job. He was in some kind of trouble.
Thanks for the check.
Oh, Ada. Is there anything about Jack Chandler that I should know?
Well, I've heard that Chandler was giving his niece, Rachel, a very bad time. You could do a lot of people a big favor by getting him a job somewhere away from here. Far away.
I meant, is there something about the past that you remember I should know about him?
Why'd you hire him, Leslie?
I told you.
Don't give me that. You've been laying guys off at the mill for the past year. His story couldn't have been that sad. Why did you hire him?
Good night, Ada.
Good night, Leslie.
Hot toddy. I used to drink them on the farm all the time. Hell, I'd rather be farming a gravel pit than punching a time clock.
You're lost, aren't you, mister? The wharf's down that way.
Scotch over the rocks, bartender.
Drinks are expensive this side of town. You sure you got enough money? Don't get comfortable. You get one drink in 5 minutes and out. Understand?
I'll have another, please.
What's the matter with you, farmer? You never seen manicured fingernails before?
Done a jailbird, no.
5 minutes.
That the kind of clothes they're handing out when they let a guy to jail these days?
How come you know who I am?
Newspaper. I saw you once in the courthouse when your trial was going on.
Oh, yeah? Well, what do you want, my autograph or something?
Hey, you better look out. I want to ask this big, tough bartender to throw you out of here.
He's a kick, ain't he? I've seen you around before, farmer.
My name's Chandler, kid. Jack Chandler.
Yeah, well, I spotted you once from my jail cell window.
Yeah, that was me. Some of the nosy do-gooders in this town are trying to take my niece away from me.
You sound like they got her.
Temporarily.
Take a look at these hands, man. They used to be all greasy and grimy and dirty like a mechanic's, like I was. They used to look something like yours do now. Not an insult, Chandler. Just giving you an example, that's all. You know, that swinging-looking manicurist must have slaved away for more than an hour.
Webby, you got clean hands, you got a new suit on. Think that makes you somebody?
It's gonna make me somebody. I'm getting a job tonight.
What, ushering in a movie house?
No, I'm getting a job with the guy that owns this whole town, Martin Payton.
Does he know about it yet?
No, but he will. You wait and see. I'm going to be his chauffeur. And that's just a starter.
And you just out of a murder trial.
Preliminary hearing, man.
Same difference.
So?
Bartender's getting ready to throw you out of here because you're not wanted in a respectable place, so you're going to get a job from old man Peyton.
Don't you chop me, man. What about you?
I go where I want to go.
Okay, Weber.
You keep that for yourself, boy. You have a lot of fun, buddy. One of these days, you're not going to be able to push me around anymore. $5 says I get that job.
You got a bet. I'm living at the boarding house on the wharf. If you can leave the money with the landlady.
Hell, I'll stop by to collect.
My usual, Frank.
Yes, sir, Mr. Harrington. Coming right up.
Have it sent to my room.
Yes, sir.
Bad day.
Fair?
Want to talk about it?
Not really.
You're still upset about Boston.
I suppose so.
Stephen, I have a confession to make. All the way back, even while Mr. Peyton was talking to me, I kept thinking we've got to stop and phone Stephen.
Thanks for the thought.
You know how it is when you get caught up in conversation.
Yes, I know how it is. He had to show you his Boston possessions, didn't he?
You are angry.
Quite a sight. Boston place. Did he show you all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Where I lived?
All right, you grew up in the servants' quarters, a fact of life.
Well, who knows? Maybe it left an indelible stamp on me.
Oh, Stephen.
No, I mean it. Some of us have the potential for graceful living, and some of us don't.
What's that supposed to mean?
You have it. In Grandfather Peyton's eyes. Not to the manner born, but the potential's there. You'll take instruction from the master, and you'll shape up very nicely. And pretty soon, no one will know the difference.
How to become a lady in 6 easy lessons. What does he have in mind for you?
Well, maybe in time, if I'm allowed to mingle and not talk before the servants. I'll catch on to the social graces if I remember not to read the paper at breakfast.
You're not kidding, are you?
The old man was in rare form last night, wasn't he? Charming, witty, and exclusive.
Exclusive.
You didn't notice? He directed all his cogent remarks to you, with an occasional aside tossed my way just to show how out of it I was.
Perhaps that's because you were out of it. Stephen, you just sat there glowering.
The talk centered on your delightful day in Boston together. Any comments I could make seemed pedestrian by comparison.
Stephen, no one meant to exclude you. If you just try to meet him halfway.
Funny, you don't seem to have that problem. Yes, you've taken to this role of hostess on the hill as if you've been rehearsing for it all your life.
Well, what role do you want me to play?
None. I just want you to be my wife.
I am your wife, but we happen to be living here in the Peyton house where you wanted to live. Now, that has to change things a little. I mean, I can't very well refuse to take charge of the household, can I?
Maybe I just don't want him to use you, to monopolize all your time.
I don't think that's his intention. I think he's really working at making me feel I'm part of his family.
The Peyton family?
Oh, Stephen, your family. The only reason he's treating me the way he is because of you, because I'm your wife. I think it's just built something up in your mind, something you have to work out. Oh, Stephen, give him a chance. I think he wants us both to feel like we belong here.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm too possessive.
Oh, darling.
Why do I have this feeling? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here at all. What's this, a little loot?
Big loot.
Terrific. Yes, but, Betty, the Tomlinson account isn't that big.
It's a gift.
Of grandfather?
Oh, Stephen. It was just delivered today.
First the hat, and now this. You know, I would like the privilege of buying your clothes.
Stephen, I...
Excuse me, Mrs. Cord. Mr. Peyton would like you and Mr. Stephen to join him for coffee.
Thank you, Mary. Stephen.
I heard the summons, Betty. Can I appear like this? I have to put my coat and tie back on.
Yes?
I'm Lee Weber. I'd like to see Mr. Peyton.
Will you wait in here, please? I don't know if Mr. Peyton can see you, Mr. Weber.
I'll handle it, Mary.
Hey, what are you doing? I got personal business with Mr. Peyton.
Will you call for an appointment or send him a letter?
Stephen, let Mr. Weber in, please. In here, Mr. Weber. Well, Mr. Weber?
I read your ad in the Clarion.
Oh?
You need a chauffeur. I need a job.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I want to know why you're hanging around. I haven't committed any crimes. Since when?
She's too worried. I told her it's not good for her. Is she all right, Doctor?
Lee Weber killed my granddaughter.
Well, then why bring him here?
Now we'll have to make our own justice. Won't we, Stephen?